How's it going, YouTube? It's FuzzyXYZ here. So this is game 2 of my duel on Dueling Network between me and my teammate Brett. So obviously he lost the first game, so he's actually going first. And he starts off by summoning his Gladiator Beast Andel, and then setting one back row, and then passing over to me. If you kind of look at my hand, it's a kind of mediocre hand in my opinion. It would have been absolutely amazing if I was going first with that hand. But unfortunately I was going second, so all I could do here was set my Snowman Eater and set my Royal Decree. Two cards that I do actually side in against this deck. Decree can more or less shut down kind of Gladiator Beasts and the Fire Fists due to the fact that they can't use their card effects during the damage step. Unfortunately, it does MST my Royal Decree. Now I anticipate that he's going to attack because he summons his Bestiary. Instead, he actually tags out straight away, which is actually fair annoying because Gyzaros is an absolute beast. So he does pop my face down Snowman Eater and attacks me directly for 2/4. So he does kind of have the advantage at the minute. And then he tags out after the battle phase into, I think it's Loquari and then Andel, I think it is. Yeah. So Brett is actually playing the Dino Rabbit version. Kind of thing with the Rescue Rabbits, and he's playing the Andels. Now he overlays the both of them into the Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. So this is kind of where the Fire Fist element of his deck comes into play. Obviously both Gladiator Beasts were Beast Warrior, so we could overlay into this. And then due to its summoning, he can set a Fire Formation card from his deck. So he's just searching his deck here for his Tensen. Tensen is a really devastating card, especially in the damage step, due to the fact that it does give your monster a K. So just revealing that he's set the Tensen there. And then he sets one more back row and passes over to me. So here I am kind of in a bit of a situation. I'm not getting in my boss monsters. I do have 3 spellbooks, just in case I did draw into a High Priestess. So he summons a Loquari. And then he decides to attack with the Tiger King. So I get my Set Apprentice Magician's effect. Now I'm kind of deciding here on what I want to go into. Excuse me if I do sound a bit sick, I have got a cold at the minute, unfortunately. But I do decide to go into Old Vindictive off my Apprentice Magician. I think that if he does attack with his Loquari, I can at least get rid of one of his monsters. So he sets one more back row and ends turn. So here he does have a pretty high advantage over me. Now here I kind of do something that I do not recommend people to do. I do Heavy Storm into his 3 back row. I tend to never do that, but I am in a bit of a desperate situation here. He does have the field advantage and is winning on life points in a minute. I do not, like I said, recommend you storming into 3 back row. It could possibly be a Starlight Road or a Solemn Judgment. Luckily enough for me, my luck does hold out, and I do get rid of his 3 back row. He does chain his Tensen, so it does give his Loquari 700 attacks. That's a 2/5 Loquari now. Like I said, apologies for if there's any coughing in this video. But I do flip up my Old Vindictive Magician and destroying his Loquari. So I kind of have a pretty neat play coming up here, just to show how powerful actually spellbooks are. So here I use the Monster Reborn, which I drew at the beginning of the turn, to bring back my Apprentice Magician. I use Spellbook Power on the Apprentice Magician, so it goes up to 1/4. I now activate Masters, revealing the life to copy my Spellbook Power, using the same effect on Apprentice Magician. So now I have a 2/4 Apprentice Magician, which is absolutely amazing, and destroy his Tiger King. And then due to the effect of Power and Masters, I do get 2 searches. So I do get kind of a +1 there. I get rid of his monster and 2 searches, especially due to the fact that both my guys are little weaklings. But the deck has so much synergy, it's absolutely amazing. And then I just attack directly with Old Vindictive, get some damage in there just while I can. So now I overlay these two into a gachi. I think leaving both their monsters out is a pretty bad idea due to the fact that I am kind of nearly at halfway life points. So I do overlay into a gachi. There's kind of nothing in Brett's deck that can actually get over a gachi unless he actually goes into his extra deck. So now Brett's just thinking about his plays here. So he summons the quarry and attacks into it. He does take 400 damage, but it does mean that he does get to tag out. I should just give you a heads up. This is a pretty grinded out game 2, so it does last a fair bit. But he does tag out into his Darius, and then using Darius' effect, he special summons the quarry from his graveyard. That's kind of a strong element about the Gladiator Beast deck. So here, I draw into the Royal Decree. So that's my second Decree. Like I said at the beginning of the duel, I did side in 2 Snowmania and 2 Decree. So there's nothing much I can really do to get over his board at the minute. So I do just end up setting the Decree, and then I activate the Grand Tower. I didn't activate it last turn, just in case there was a hope that I actually drew into a High Priestess. Therefore, I would have had 3 in hand. But I did decide to activate the tower. It gives him kind of a decision now which one he wants to MST. But unfortunately, his set down was a Heavy Storm. So he has destroyed both of my decrees that are in my deck, which is pretty sad face to be honest, because it was one of the main cards that actually shuts down a deck like Gladiator Beast. But it does mean that I actually get a special summon off the Grand Tower. So here I'm just flicking through my deck, thinking what I want to go into. And I go into my last Apprentice Magician. This way, at least I do get to control the board a little bit, that I do get the special summon after. So he normal summons another Andel from hand. And right here, I do actually think that he was going to go into Herc. But no, he just overlays the Lucaria and the Andel into another Tie King. So again, just like last time, he gets the Tie King effect to set a 5 formation spell or trap. Now the reason that I believe that Brett actually went into the Tie King is the fact that now if he activates Tie King's effect, it means my gachi won't be able to protect itself. It'll go back down to a 1/8 and it can now just be destroyed after one attack. So he searches the Tenki and then activates Tenki to get another Quarry to hand. This is kind of like the best bit about Brett's deck. The 5 formation cards do work in really good synergy with the Gladiator Beasts. So here he enters battle phase after using Tie King's effect, destroying my gachi and then Darius over my Apprentice Magician. And then I get my Apprentice Magician's effect anyway. So I think the only target left in my deck now is Spellbook Magician. Like I said, it's a really grinded out game, this one, so apologies for it, but I think Brett opened the best. I think that Heavy Storm that I did more or less early game did cripple him a little bit. But he does tag out after his attack. And I think that he goes into another Andel, I believe. Yeah, he goes into the Andel. Luckily for me, in both duels so far, I've not actually seen a Rescue Rabbit. So he sets one more back row and passes over to me. I managed to draw into the Breaker, which to be honest is a really good draw. Now here I am kind of thinking about my play a little bit. Looking back on the duel now, I do actually misplay a little bit. I activate Secrets to start off with, to search into, I think it's a Wisdom, because I am fearing his back row a little bit. It could be a Bottomless. Now, like I said, I did misplay a little bit. Here I normal summon the Breaker, and Breaker obviously gains the counter from its effect, and then I automatically use the counter to pop his face down, which was actually a Compulse. Now what I've actually should have done here was, before I summon Breaker, actually flip up the Spellbook Magician, so I would have actually got a Search. So I did actually kind of misplay it there. And in all honesty, I didn't actually expect the Compulse. I don't think I did see one game 1, but that was only late at the end of the duel, so I did not kind of expect it. But here I actually do a pretty interesting play. I use my Spellbook of Life to banish an Apprentice Magician, to special summon an Apprentice Magician. Now again, I did actually forget about Apprentice Magician's effect, that when it is actually summoned by any means, that it does give a counter to anything on the field. So I should have actually gave Breaker another counter and popped his Tenki, but instead I just overlay straight into Utopia and attack over his Beast King. His Tiger King, sorry. I think that's actually like one of the first times I've actually gone into Utopia in the deck. That is like one of the genuine ways to bring it out, with like a Breaker, then life him back when you're level 2s by banishing another one. So we're pretty even at the minute. The only advantage that Brett has is he has more life points, and is it actually his turn. But I kind of have like the same concept as well, due to the fact that I can negate his attacks. So he summons the Quarry that he actually searched the turn before, off of Tenki. Normal summons it and overlays it into Gem Knight Pearl. And this is the advantage of me having a Utopia, that I do actually get to negate the attack. So I do survive for one more turn. He passes over to me, I draw into the Spellbook of Secrets. So I'm just checking my grave now. There's not actually many things in my deck that can actually get over that without a High Priestess. But I do actually realise I do have a lot of spellbooks in grave. So I can actually use a card in my deck now, which I have actually begun to thoroughly love within the deck, and that is Spellbook of Fate. I have actually put this card up to 2 in this build. I did decide to test it out at 2, same with Eternity. Both of them cards at 2. I find that Fate is a really good card, especially against decks like Dark Worlds, Chaos Dragons, Agents, stuff like that. So here I activate my Spellbook of Fate. Now, I did actually decide to set his Gem Knight Pearl, so I can attack over it. So I do actually leave some more spellbooks in grave, just in case I drew into another Fate late game or something like that. So I'm kind of reserving my provisions, if you want to call it that. So I do set his Pearl, attack over Utopia, and attack directly with the Magician. Brett's turn, he just sets a monster that he drew, and pass over to me. I draw into the High Priestess, a really, really good draw. Unfortunately, I do not have that third spellbook. But now I'm kind of thinking one move ahead. I'm trying to get them pluses off, which the Prophecy spellbook deck does a really lot. So here I activate Secrets, getting Magician, probably like one of the best loops you can actually do in the deck. Normal from Magician, and then get the +1 off that. So there I have maintained the exact same hand, with a hand of 3, but I've +1 due to the fact that I have got another monster on board. So there I just activate the Magician's effect to get the Secrets back. So like I said, that loop. And then I actually overlay both of them into a Daigusto Phoenix. So I feel like I can at least get 3k damage into him. So I attack with the Utopia. Unfortunately, he actually top decked the Spirit Reaper. I did not actually see that coming, to be honest. But it must have been one of the cards that he did actually side in. So like I said, I did not see that coming. So the only thing I can do there is just end turn. So that Spirit Reaper was actually a really good draw for him. So now looking at my hand, I'm actually thinking that I do actually need to get this High Priestess out so I can get rid of that Spirit Reaper. But I've kind of got Brett into a position now where he is actually top decking. So Brett's just thinking about his plays here. He's in a tough decision. And he actually summons the Thunder King and decides to attack my Daigusto Phoenix. Now I do actually negate this due to the fact that I am hoping for that third spellbook, and luckily I did get the third spellbook. A really good draw. And I do believe now that due to the fact that I have 3 spellbooks, that is actually game. I am actually checking my graveyard. So yeah, just checking my graveyard, just to make sure that I have the requirements there which I want to proceed this play. So I reveal 3 for High Priestess. Just revealing the 3 spellbooks there. Into High Priestess. Absolutely love that card. Favourite card in the entire deck. It's like one of the reasons was I built it in the beginning. So here, use High Priestess effect, banishing the Fate to destroy his Spirit Reaper. Now with the Eternity, I bring back the Fate. And that's the reason why I was checking my graveyard, because now I can just activate the Fate, automatically banishing 3 spellbooks to banish his T-King. And now, by using Daigusto Phoenix effect, I do actually have 8k on the field. So there, Brett admits defeat. It was a really, really good game. I hope you've enjoyed this game. If you want to see more duels, then please let me know. Please comment below on the video. If you want to see a deck profile of Brett's Gladiator Beast, then do let me know. This has been FuzzyXYZ. Thank you for watching. Like I said, please comment below, like this video, subscribe to my channel. See you later, YouTube.